blue side almost every single game, so I guess we'll see if it stays true in this meta, but I can't really see any difference.
Ooh, there's a Kazakhstan.
Ooh, curveball.
All right, so for you guys, I mean, you haven't played in the LCS or in a competitive game super recently, but with both of those, these are the top two junglers at the moment. What are the next one that comes to mind? Obviously, Rek'Sai has been a long time favorite for competitive for various reasons.
I mean, I think you have a lot of options personally. Like, you have the Ivern, which we haven't seen in the NALCS so far. I mean, I know Moon goes to Eve randomly, and you have Acadian playing Graves. You have a lot of options. I think that Tier 2 is a lot more even than Tier 1. I think Rengar is just kind of the best jungler right now, and then Kha'Zix is under that for competitive play. But for Tier 2, you have Rek'Sai, you have Elise, you have Ivern. I think Warwick is actually pretty decent. I think we could see him potentially this weekend from NALCS. We already saw it in EU.
I would love to see a Warwick this week. I've been playing a lot of them.
Yeah,
I've got about a 20% win rate on them, but you learn more from losing than winning. So.
Yeah, there you go. You're learning a lot then there if you're watching Meteos stream. I do have to say, though, along with the point that you're going with there, the lethality changes, lethality being even more strong, also helps a bunch of those champions. The other thing that junglers always are going to look at are these lane matchups for the early game. Jace is a big one that always is a kind of a red flag to me because he's going to be pushing in your top laner in most matchups and is a pretty big threat. Are you one of the guys that really likes to play off of a winning lane or try and set up one of those counter ganks that hope to salvage something, because pretty risky to go for those ones.
I really prefer playing around winning lanes, and I think that most people do. With something like Jace, if you're jungling for Jace, he needs protection because he wants to push in, he wants to play really aggressive all the time, and he can do that, but if he gets ganked, he's going to go 0-10 that game. So I really expect to see them playing around the top lane.
Yeah, and something I'd like to add is that Jace in some other regions has been played as a flex. So I think that's a lot of the power of the pick right now, is that people have been playing him top and mid, and with the lethality changes, that kind of makes that strategy even more viable. So I definitely think that Phoenix 1 has to watch out, and they can't just assume that it's 100% Jace top.
Yeah, plus you're probably looking at a magic damage solo laner next pickup for Immortals since they have so much AD, so definitely have to worry about the runes heading into that matchup as well.
I personally would have really liked to see Olaf. I feel like he's an insanely strong pick. In Worlds, he was basically the strongest jungler towards the end, and especially with the meta, like a Varus Nami, Olaf just runs that over. So I'm a little surprised to not see him.
Yeah.
What's your preferred keystone on Olaf?
Fervor.
Fervor? Yeah, I've seen a lot of Fervor. I was actually surprised when I was watching LCK. I think Spirit picked up Grasp, and I think some junglers have been doing Grasp on Olaf too, which seems a little bit strange, but yeah, I mean, I'm personally a fan of Fervor myself.
I've definitely seen a lot of Grasp. I feel like Fervor just gives him a lot more scaling because you can build pure tank, and his issue before with strength was late game he doesn't do a whole lot, but with Fervor it gives him a ton of free damage, and I guess we're not seeing him, so it's not that important.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing the Lee Sin for Dardoch, though, and that has been one of his most iconic champions, right? The classic for him. And you talk about early playmaking whenever we see Lee Sin, plus he's already got a Jace lane. Maybe it won't be top, but it could very well be some winning lanes to work off as well.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you need to work about, I don't know about your guys' perspective, but from my perspective, I always thought Rek'Sai was good into Lee Sin. I always found it as
the
like a pseudo counter, because you could interrupt his W, you could interrupt his Q if he ever goes on you, and you kind of just have the advantage in the 1v1. So I think that's something that he really needs to worry about, is if Inori gets the early games that he has been, where he's killing people early and snowballing ahead, I think that could be really detrimental for Immortals.
I think that the matchup is a little bit more even than that, because I know that Rek'Sai can interrupt Lee Sin's Q, but what I'll see a lot of good Lee Sins do is you just don't use Q until Rek'Sai's unburrowed. You just like ward jump on top of him, start auto-attacking him, and if he doesn't unburrow, he just dies. So I do like the Rek'Sai here because Immortals has the 380, Jace, Lee Sin, Ashe. He can get early Ninja Tabby and get a lot of value out of that. So I think it's definitely going to be Rek'Sai favored right here.
Yeah, one of the other things recently to kind of affect this matchup is also the nerfs to Courage of the Colossus, right? If you are finding Lee Sin in one of those duels, he has even more advantage over you because your Colossus shield with this one person is going to be way smaller.
Yep, definitely.
All right, looks like we are rounding it out with mid lane magic damage, so the Jace is going to go to the top. Let's see what the matchup's actually going to be, though.
You think it's going to be a tank?
There's almost no really good champions, right, that can actually go toe-to-toe with them. But, you know, Shen just going to try and take those licks and then have the global, right?
Yeah, but this is the style for Phoenix 1. They always like putting Zig on that tank top, relying on the AD carry and the mid laner for damage, and sometimes Inori, and just letting him TP into fights. He's one of the best top laners at not letting the enemy run him over. Like,
I think this is going to be a great game to watch Dardoch because looking at these team comps, Immortals doesn't really have a dedicated tank. They have some initiation from, you know, Ashe and Thresh, but this Phoenix 1 comp is just the most insane scaling comp. You know, you've got like a huge front line with Shen Rek'Sai. Cassiopeia is massive late game carry. So I really think they're going to have to snowball, which they can do. You know, they've got a lot of early game kill pressure. And I want to see what Dardoch can do as far as making something happen early.
Yeah, especially when, you know, you see that last pick for for Phoenix 1 come in and it's the Shen. What does that really do for your early game plan? Because you know you have some time till he hits level 6, but you know, once Stand United becomes an extra tool, definitely have to, you know, focus your efforts elsewhere, I guess.
I mean, I personally think that right now Dardoch's going to be looking bot. He has a Thresh Ashe against Nami, and Nami is one of the more killable bot lane supports that we have right now in the game. And I think that in general, he can look for a kill there pre-6. Like a level 3 kill can definitely happen in that lane.
I think level 3 bot's going to be extremely important in this game. Varus Nami is the most unsafe lane, especially against the Thresh. You know, anytime you're in range of Thresh to just flash flay, Lantern in the jungler, that's going to be a kill unless it's countered. So I think both junglers are going to have to put a lot of emphasis in the bot lane.
Yeah,
early.
there's so much playmaking available down there for them. Lee Sin's already one of the, you know, best early game playmakers, but Olay here on the Thresh, he actually has been pretty good on that one in the Morgana for you know, snaring
Morgana's
people
definitely been a pocket pick. I don't think anyone's playing it besides for him. So
yeah, definitely not as successfully.
Dardoch's AFK, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. Good start to him.
All
right, so
report him?
start off the game, 9x the jungler. But honestly, let's take a look, because we're going to try and jungle sort of from Dardoch's perspective here. Let's just say, if you are looking towards the bottom lane, you know, where are you going to start your early path, and what is it going to look like? Are you going to try and go for the Scuttle Crab first and try and rush towards that? Because a lot of people have been just trying to get to level 3 and take the Scuttle, or take the fight over the Scuttle as #1 objective.
Right, so it looks like both junglers are posturing towards the top side, which they're going to want to do if they're going to come bot at 3. I think it would be hard for Lee Sin to fight Rek'Sai at the bottom crab, because if both junglers clear their top side and then go to crab at 3, a red buff Rek'Sai should have an edge over blue buff Lee Sin just because of how strong red is. So I think it favor Rek'Sai at the crab.
So in that case, for Dardoch,
look at this. It looks like Immortals is doing the cheese.
Yeah,
they could potentially.
We talked about the
Inori
being the one possibly, but
they got cheese last time, and they're trying to do the same thing right now because they did not like how that turned out.
We also get to feel how, you know, the uncertainty, right? Because we have only their vision, and we don't actually get to see if Phoenix One are aware of this.
Bush a little bit.
Okay. So now you know exactly where Inori is.
It's actually, yeah, they're actually both starting on the red of the opponent. So you can see there the volley and the pings coming down from Immortals. So
right. I think this is really smart by P1 because
exactly
by splitting the map, you give a lot of safety to your bot lane. It's going to be hard for Dardoch to get down there without doing it inefficiently and losing out on some XP. And Shen is one of the safest laners. He can just sit back, save all of his spells.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. If the plan is to attack bot lane, having your jungler on this side is definitely useful. Immortals has to be careful of chasing this because they know that Rek'Sai was in the bottom side jungle. So I think if they knew that Rek'Sai started top, they probably would be more aggressive there. But in that situation, I don't think that they can chase.
I think that was actually a pretty well-timed all-in because they know Rek'Sai's not really going to gank for level 3. Doing it level 1 like that, if you can blow sums, you can get a pretty big advantage. But that being said, flashing in a divided map where you're getting pressured is risky.
That's right. One of the big, you know, tools we were looking for this Immortal squad was the flash flay. Now it's actually Olay who traded his flash for no flash on Arrow. Arrow was, you know, really confident there, just used the heal to get out of it, and they actually have held on to that safety.
Yeah, and Immortals has to be careful right now. They have no wards bot side. They know Rek'Sai can potentially be down there, and they're looking at a flashless Thresh right now.
Exactly, and the Thresh is your target, right? Unless he's with Kalista post level 6 or something, that's always the guy that you go for in the duo. So he can't Lantern anyone away. But so Dardoch stayed on the red quadrant to clean out the entire red quadrant. Can you explain the decision making there and, you know, what he was working with as far as the info?
So it looks like he cleared all the camps instead of leaving one little thing, which to me tells me that he's going to want to stay in that top side of the jungle just being pretty content splitting a map and figuring that Inori will be doing the same thing, because one of the risks you run with leaving one little minion up at the camps is that if Rek'Sai just continually farms the bottom side, you know, your red jungle, his own blue jungle, and you counter jungle that quadrant, you basically have one quadrant to two, and you'll fall really behind.
Yeah, and as you can see here, we are going to be checking in on the other lanes because junglers are always taking into account, you know, the status of every single lane. So this is still jungler brain stream, and he's just checking in up here on the Shen that is going to get bullied, right? Maybe if Jace can bully him hard enough and get him low, then that does open up things like dives, since they've already counter jungled this side. They could have wards on that side. But, you know, not going to be the case as of right now. You talked about Zig being one of those guys that can lose gracefully, basically.
Definitely. Right now he's doing just that. I mean, he's down 12 CS, but he's keeping the lane in a spot where he's not particularly gankable because he knew that Dardoch was on the top side of the map. So I think that was just smart play from Zig. He's willing to sacrifice CS to not give away any kills.
Now, what's going through your mind if you're checking this quadrant that was just counter jungle? Dardoch's actually going for that play. Yeah.
Ooh, he's going all the way.
Oh, he's got it all the way.
That's well played.
So just some nice flash there from Dardoch to close the distance early. You can get, once you have the slow on her, right, it's pretty easy to follow up with the Q.
Probably a kill.
Elder also going down. So Nori really quick to answer.
Yeah, I think it was a really good play by Dardoch and a good play by Inori, you know, finding something else.
That was a really explosive play from Dardoch, and it was more a consistent play from Inori, for sure.
Oh, this is IP.
Goes for the smite on the minion.
I think not assuming that was correct.
Yeah.
Just trying to hold the wave here till Pobelter gets back, basically. How often do you maybe sacrifice a little bit of your health just to hold the minion wave in front of the turret?
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure if Lee Sin saw that, or Inori saw that Lee Sin do. If they did, then...
They did definitely get a tremor sense on Lee Sin.
Right.
But yeah, the bottom lane did not back off.
Yeah, P1 definitely way too far up there.
Yeah.
But that's just the vulnerability of Nami right there. That champion is so easy to kill on the bot lane. It's almost like a Sona level, where you can just go down there and pretty much guarantee a kill.
I'm interested to see what Dardoch does next, because all of Inori's camps are going to be up, and Inori will be able to pull ahead in XP because of how this you know, camp clearing went. So I think Dardoch's going to have to look for a play bot lane. It can happen pretty easily.
Run it back down bottom, definitely.
Right.
We've got no flash on Nami, so.
Where are you expecting also, if you're Dardoch, where are you expecting Inori to be right now? Because you mentioned, yeah, his camps are going to be back up. So would you say, oh, he's probably up there on the red quadrant clearing those out at this moment and make that guess that it's an okay to make another repeat play on bottom? Or would you actually expect a counter gank right now?
I would base it strictly on how the lane is pushing. And right now, the lane's pulling back towards P1 in the bot lane. So their bot lane's pretty content to just sit under their tower, basically. And if Inori can just, you know, farm all of his camps here, he'll pull ahead next P of Dardoch.
And immediately, once they saw that the lane was pulling like this and how far back P1 was playing, Immortals, I don't know if it was Dardoch or someone on Immortals, pinged both Wraiths and Krugs, saying he's definitely going to be on that side.
Exactly. They had the exact timers on those camps. He had just gone back to base, so basically you're predicting the path that he was taking top down from the red side, and he's going to be around that bottom side when the wave crashes. So, hey, bottom lane, don't push up too far. You know, don't die without me, basically.
Something interesting to note is Inori did hit 6 first, and that is because Dardoch chose to clear out all of Inori's camps on the top side instead of leaving the little minion.
And also, this is a situation where now Immortals has to take into account the Shen ult coming in to the bot lane. They definitely want to force, potentially with Flash on Thresh, on the flashless bot lane of P1. But at this point, Shen will do way more coming into one of those fights than a Jace, especially with Shen ult. So they definitely are going to be taking that into consideration when they look bottom lane.
I'm not even sure if Immortals is going to want to focus bot lane anymore at this point, because Thresh does give you a lot of safety with that Lantern, and I think Jace trying to take Shen's turret could be a pretty good thing for them to go for.
Yeah, I'd love to see what the HP of that turret is. I wonder if he's got any damage on it so far. Because he definitely has a CS lead from pressuring.
Yeah, because, you know, how worth it would it to be to show bottom and know that you're going to back off? This should probably just be a trade where they back out, but Flame might have to use a...
Ooh, this.
Oh, baby!
That's actually good for Immortals.
You got that one pretty free.
Oh, it's like a double.
That's double. That's 2 dead.
Oh, wow. I don't know about Flame going back in for that.
Yeah.
Dude, Dardoch
Should've just
100% had that. That's actually a pretty bad feeling as a jungler. Because that was going to be such
That would
a
have
big
been
swing.
amazing. That would have been tower or
Exactly.
at least Shen's TP for sure. It still might be the TP, but I mean, obviously, Flame didn't have to die there.
You know, if Flame backs off, it's a Jace plus a red buff on Lee Sin, so you get that extra damage on turret. I feel like that's such a big swing.
Right. Well, Dardoch is having a great early game, as we said he needed to, so just good for IMT.
All right, so yeah, now we can see the whole map. So they obviously didn't have vision of Inori coming in on the rec side, but anytime your top laners are trading like that, pretty sure that it's attracting both junglers.
I like how Dardoch played that. Yeah, interesting he went for the Q instead of Wing to Jace first, I guess. It's less expected that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, now they also both burn flashes in that. Would you also, if you're Dardoch, expect an Inori repeat visit up there, or is this bottom lane more of a target, right? Shen did use his teleport to get back to lane, but that's not a big deal since he does have Stand United.
It's hard to say. Because Inori doesn't have ult, normally what I would like to see here, especially because he's Rek'Sai, and this is kind of an exclusive thing, is leaving a tunnel up top lane to ult counter gank, and then focusing bot, I think is a really good thing for him to do, because with Shen, you can instantly have 4 people down there, and Lee Sin's not going to want to go bot, because you're just never going to get an advantage.
Definitely like the use of those 2 globals to actually get the pressure on both.
However, no, he didn't do that. He used his ult to get back for some farm, so looks like they're still going to go for this play on the bot lane.
This is good. They know that Pobelter just received blue, which means that Dardoch was most likely topside. And with all this setup from Varus Nami, they can definitely go for something here, or just go for the bot turret itself.
Looks like Immortals is going to choose to fight this.
Yeah, I mean, the first turret gold is such a big swing. There's the arrow to start it out.
Oh, nice arrow.
I think they went too early.
Yeah, not a nice arrow.
Because they had the time. Look at that tower. There's still almost 30% left on it. They're cleaning up, though. Oh, Dardoch
so far
in there, too, on arrow.
Nice flash kick. Well, flashy, didn't accomplish a whole lot.
Yeah, I had actually come out, you know, decently behind there. The first turret's still available, though.
Did Arrow snipe Pobelter at the end of that fight? Because Pobelter has both sums up, and he ended up dying there.
Yeah, he must have got hit by an arrow.
Yep.
He still got it.
Holy moly, you got Freak over here.
Whoops.
Looks like you have a bright future ahead of you, Meteos.
Well, we'll have to see if this top wave hits the tower and dies before Shen gets up there, or else that's going to really be bad for Flame.
Yeah.
Looks like the melees are going to die.
Yeah, it looks like most of the wave's gone, so yeah, this is I think it's good for IMT.
Yeah, definitely.
Aside from the snipe at the end.
Yeah, the two for one, and the fact that they burned TP and P1 only used Shen ulti.
Yeah, I think it just re-highlights how big of a mistake that was previously, though, when Flame backed off. So like they couldn't get this first turret earlier. But yeah, here's the arrow into flash hook, and not only did he die for that, but that's his big playmaking ability down too, right?
Yeah, flashing in 2v5 or 2v4
doesn't matter.
Shen's.
No flash necessary.
Yeah.
Dardoch's popping off.
Dardoch's going for the 1v9.
Yep.
Lee Sin show.
It's the story of IMT right now, unfortunately.
Now, at this point, do you start to lose track of the Rek'Sai with there being too many options? I mean, look at this deep vision. They don't have really any deep vision. They did just kill bottom lane, so it's super easy to go, oh yeah, this dragon is really free right now, but where are you really predicting a Nord? I guess he's
right there on the ward.
Yeah, hey, nice prediction! Hey.
I think this is actually a pretty hard situation for Inori to find anything.
Yeah.
My guess is he's just going to try to, do damage control. P1's going to want to get their control works up, and Inori's probably just going to farm, look for plays when he can, try to counter Lee Sin, but
I think that right now becomes the turret race. Immortals has to focus top turret, and then P1 has to try to focus bot turret. And it looks like Immortals makes the move first, so they'll most likely go for this turret and get it down before P1's able to react, considering their bot lane is still there.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to playing off your winning lanes, right? Your Jace lane here, super bullying, has a big minion wave, so.
I think it's mainly off the TP disadvantage right now. They know that Flame has no TP.
That's a good point.
Shen has TP. So they want to split the map. They don't want to play evenly, because if they split the map here, then they can potentially get the first turret. But if they just play completely evenly, then they're going to be at a disadvantage when it comes to a potential bot lane dive.
Plus, they already eliminated the dragon as the counter objective on the bottom side, so it might even be a 2-for-1.
Yeah, this was very very good timing on the swap by Immortals here. Managing to get the first turret and have tempo. Do pretty much whatever they want.
They definitely have tempo up here. Oh, Zig is just left out to dry.
He's got flash. This is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, chase him off 1v4. Get him. Reinforcements are on the way.
I think P1's bluffing here. I don't think their balling is actually up there yet.
We see Nami.
Yeah, we see Nami, but I feel like P1 just kind of tried to position aggressively, so they didn't get too far behind off that. Yeah, the arrow wasn't even back yet, and they walked up to the turret aggressively, like, hey, if you come dive this turret again, we'll fight you.
Pelter's gonna get nabbed. He used his summoners this time.
Oh, that's a good flash.
I think that Pobelter's getting punished really hard for not having Ghost this game, because part of what made Rek'Sai fall off during Worlds was the fact that every mid laner started taking Ghost, making it almost impossible to gank, but without that Ghost, if Rek'Sai flashes on you, you can't really get away.
Yeah.
So have you noticed recently, because they did just nerf the Ghost to have kind of a delay, more mid laners going for the heals or the exhaust instead?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why Pobelter did it. However...
Ole, what are you doing, man?
Getting in there.
Dude, this is Hachani level right here. What is this?
What do you mean? He caught 4 people by himself.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, caught them all. Where's the damage? Where's my team?
Hit him with the bots, man.
All right, how do we stabilize here if we are Dardoch? Your support just goes in, 1v4, kills himself, you have no vision.
You got about 10 seconds left to flame him, and then you have to really focus on the game from that point on.
All right, looks like the time is up.
Yeah, this is a pretty weird situation to be Dardoch. You basically just gotta wait for Thresh to get back, and then I imagine they're gonna try to get this bot turret.
The one thing that I would, from Dardoch's side, Ryu used both summoners, to get that, right? So are you thinking, hey, I'm going in on Cassiopeia, 100% of the time, or how easy is it for Lee Sin to avoid that ultimate as you're trying to get into a position to kick her?
Well, Cassio is one of those champions that is insanely strong mid-game and can 1v2 if you don't play it right. So because of how behind Victor is, and they've got some decent vision control around mid, but if I was Lee Sin, I wouldn't be desperate to, focus their most fed guy for my feeder.
Yeah, it would have to be a dive, and then the thing they also are considering is the channel in there. The channel can be so powerful on Cassio because she has so much sustain damage that if you don't kill her instantly, she's going to be able to turn that on you, potentially 1v2 or with the channel 2v3, something like that. So they're definitely very wary of the channel. So I think that right now they pretty much have to play safely around bot side until they see at least Rek'Sai and then most likely Shen up in the top lane.
Yeah, usually the strat against Shen is you try to push out your waves as far as you can safely and then switch your bot lane into the Shen's lane because obviously Shen can't ult himself, and it can make it easier to deal with that potential ult showing up.
And that was really well played what they did originally, which is exactly that. They pushed out bot lane and then immediately swapped. They had tempo. They pushed down the first turret and then they shied off the second turret, but that's where it all fell apart. Pobelter gets caught mid, Ole gets caught mid right after that, and suddenly that good play that they made where they should develop a gold lead ends up being just an even game again because of the extra kills.
All right, they get a little bit of information right here on Nord going for the bottom side. Dardoch has, cleared from bottom up to top though, so he knows the most they're getting out of this is some ward clear. How quickly do you want to send reinforcements mid? Because this is a pretty strong siege. Looks like they're all calling everybody over.
They're going to have to defend this. Losing mid turret this early, especially with a Victor, is not what you want to do. They just got to dodge the Varus poke. P1's definitely, even though the gold is very even, well, Immortal is actually ahead. In my opinion, P1's stronger. Just looking at the items, they've got more spikes.
Definitely. And
Lee Sin's got 4 of their kills, and he doesn't really have any strong items yet. He just has Merc Treads.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that the 3-0 Cassio is probably the strongest individual champion in the game right now.
They found a pick, but they don't have any deep vision.
Yeah, and they're afraid to just commit to this because of the potential Shen, and they don't know where Nami and Varus potentially are. So
they know Cassio's bot, so I think this is a pretty good opportunity for them to move into that top side, but I guess they're just going to settle for catching the bot farm.
Are you scared of setting up Dragon Vision right now? Because it is coming up. It is a Mountain Drake, which is pretty strong, but again, that Shen factor is still in the equation.
I think that Mountain Dragon is never something you want to give to a Cassiopeia. With a comp like Cassio Shen, it puts so much pressure on Baron if they have a Mountain.
That was a really wonky initiate.
Oh,
it looked like they were on different pages there.
Ole is getting chunked out a lot for free here, actually.
I really think you have to give this if you're Immortals, though. I don't see how you can reasonably fight this with a Jace. Like, I think that, like you said, Meteos, P1 is stronger right now based off items. and now they also have vision control. And they're going to have Shen in a team fight where Jace is just a better split champion. I really can't see Immortals winning this Dragon fight without a massive mistake from...
I think they should... It's definitely a hard situation for Immortals. I think even they might be a bit indecisive. They're just looking for hooks and possibly an arrow to get an initiate here. Oh, they found a nice hook.
Olay, redeeming himself right there. All right, now everything changes, right? You have so much more pressure. That was a Rek'Sai off the bat. Not only do you get that kill, but no smite, so...
Definitely seemed like an uncharacteristic mistake from Minori. Just kind of got caught clearing a pink ward when he has pretty good idea where they all are.
Yeah.
They had flash up too.
I think that was just in time, right? Uh-oh.
It looks like they can't even take the Dragon 4v5 though at this point.
Was Dardoch just trying to bait the ulti there? Because I've seen it so many clips of Dardoch, you know, playing aggressive with Cassiopeia only to just
look at this Cassio
back.
Oh my lord. Ryu's taking
Belter
over.
is getting handled right now.
I've seen Pro Belter be 0-4 way too many times this season. Feels bad, man.
I wonder how many of these would be avoidable with Ghost. Just wondering.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, because you can at least pop the Ghost when you're in Cassio W.
Interesting to see Cassio go for that early QSS. I guess against Ashe and Thresh, it's pretty good. And also, when he has flash up, if he does get kicked by Lee Sin, he can QSS and flash to get out of the kick, which is
those Korean
pretty
mechanics.
neat thing to do.
Yeah.
Definitely only works if you're Korean, so Ryu's got that going.
It only works if you play on 10 ping.
Plus, if you have a Shen at your back who's willing to stand United on top of you, you can go so aggressive with a QSS.
Arrow looks like he's in a bad position here. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, he got out!
Wow. I'm surprised they even Shen ulted that.
Yeah, I think that was like maybe 1.5 more autos to get through the Shen shield and finish that, but Flash was already down.
Yeah, and 3 people bottom gives him a big chance of going to mid trade, and Cassio can't defend this the same way Victor can.
A really big play by Dardoch.
Yeah, they got so much out of the 1v3 basically down there by him. Greatest.
Mid turret is huge.
So when you are on someone like Lee Sin also, are you looking for way more for these side lane plays rather than grouping just the standard, oh goodness, we're low on vision, let's group up, I guess?
Well, I'll definitely say that this is not the 4-1 that would be ideal.
I don't think this is a very textbook play.
Well,
this might have been an audible.
Yeah, this one, we're getting chased out here by P1, but the disengage ass arrow.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Dardoch just said, all right, you guys are feeding, I'm fed, I'm going into the side lane. But
it does feel like one of those plays where he's like, I'm saving this game right now.
It was a hero play, and it worked out.
And this one, this is literally the opposite, where Ryu just feels like he needs to dumpster on Pro Belter a little more.
Yeah, he just knows he can go for it.
Yeah.
Walks out unscathed.
Ryu is pretty on fire right now.
As far as the two players, though, I mean, Dardoch has definitely been one of the guys who will make those hero plays way more often, right? Whenever you watch him, it does kind of feel like he gets to the point in a game where he's like, I need to carry this hard, and he goes and does something like that. Sometimes it backfires really big.
It can definitely backfire, but it's also the kind of thing that in games like this where you don't have the most obvious win condition, those hero plays can make the difference.
And it definitely did, save it for the time being for them. They have a pretty good gold lead still.
I definitely think in this specific situation, it was definitely the right call to go for. I felt like P1 was kind of clawing back, and they were starting to scale a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
And that play kind of gave them that little bit of cushion. I mean, I kind of view this as like, even though there's a 3K gold lead for Immortals, I kind of view this as a 50-50. Like, I wouldn't say that Immortals is going to win like 80% of the time now because they're up 3K.
Yeah, just because team comps, right? I mean, teams with Jace are going to have these early leads. Oh, they're going for a plan. Pop.
This looks really
Cody,
bad for
Cody,
Immortals.
you're done. Cody done.
This is an extremely sketchy part of the game for Immortals because, like I was saying, P1 having that Mountain Dragon and Baron being up means that if you ever leave Baron unchecked for, 5 seconds, you're going to lose it. So they have to constantly get Baron fishing.
They're on Baron already. They're actually just baiting them into a fight here. I assume that the second that IMT goes close, they're just going to try to turn.
Is he going for the steal?
He can keep Lee Sin from getting in.
Yeah, it looks like
they tied it. Oh, perfect.
Good zoning, actually.
Very good taunt by Shen.
Yep. I love that as a jungler.
I honestly think that not getting a Baron stolen is on your teammates just as much as on the jungler. You know, a lot of people talk about how good are you at smiting and whatnot, but That was entirely Zig taunting Lee Sin, so Dardoch didn't have the chance to go for a smite fight.
I mean, I think that if you lose a 50-50 smite, then it is 100% your fault.
Definitely.
That's what I've learned from Twitch chat, and as a streamer,
100%.
That's what I meant to say. Your smiting is direct correlation of your worth as a human being.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely a big misplay from Dardoch not getting that smite there.
Yep.
Of course. Definitely a lot he could have done.
Nori just showing up huge in each jungle matchup.
Okay, so now I'm gonna try and delve. So he could have kicked the Shen, instantly kicked the Shen in there, made a Warhawk to the side, and then the Q. No.
The thing is,
not having Flash made that hard because he was zoned out by the Cassio W. He had to go around it, and then he only has his Q and W to get in.
A lot of the time, sacrificing your life for this is less than a 50-50. People say 50-50 all the time when it's just like, oh, both junglers are there. That's a 50-50, right?
That's a 1%er right there. There's no way you're getting in there. It's up to P1 to make a mistake, and they actually played it perfectly. They Cassio zoned off the front, and then it forced Dardoch on the side, and as soon as he got to the outside of the miasma, Shen just came in and taunted that exact direction. Even if that taunt misses and Dardoch's forced to dodge it, he still will not be able to get to the pit in time because of the speed that they were killing Barons.
Yeah. Plus, he's lower level than Nori. People don't always understand that as well. The higher level does help with the smite fights.
I feel like it's negligible, but it definitely helps a little bit. I never really feel like I get a Baron stolen because of that.
Because he was one level above.
It's a great excuse.
But it is, yeah.
Oh, no, I definitely use it all the time, but I'm just saying practically it might not be.
You're letting out the secrets, come on!
Okay. All right, my bad.
So looking at this game from Immortal's perspective, if I was Lee Sin, it doesn't feel like there's a very clear way of winning this other than P1 giving you a hard throw.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, in the draft, they don't really have a front line. Very hard to fight against a super tanky Shen Rek'Sai.
Yeah, how do you get past? There's obviously people are going to be like, oh yeah, you need to make a hero play on Arrow or Ryu, but getting past the Rek'Sai to one of those is so difficult. Plus, Nami Wave and Shen, it's just...
There's a ton of stuff to stop Lee Sin from initiating here. Dardoch's going to have to get really creative, and even then, you know, if he's trying to hide, he can get spotted by Tremor since they've got Shen ult, they've got Cassio W, they've got so many tools to keep him from initiating.
I think this is the only situation where they can possibly go for something is when P1 splits the map like this, or just split pushes in general, because they have Rek'Sai in one lane, Shen in the other, and then the other three were presumably, after they shop, going to push top. And in that situation, maybe you can get an Asher, maybe you can get a pick before they're all able to collapse instantly.
Yeah. I mean, we're always like, oh yeah, obviously this team with Ashe needs to, you know, get an arrow and kill that person. But again, look at the vision they're working with. Seems pretty difficult.
Also, who are you going to arrow? You've got a QSS Cassio, you've got, well, Edge of Night Varus. Not exactly a reactive item, but he can use it at this important moment.
Yeah. If you see it coming from far enough away, you can definitely block it with that.
I'm actually a big fan of Edge of Night. I think it was strong before it was buffed, and very strong now.
Most people do forget to use it though, so that's the only
that's one of the double buffs
issue for a lot of people.
Buff lethality and then reduce the cooldown by a third. That's honestly, it's just a ridiculous.
Yeah,
item
you can honestly just spam the spell shield now, and you don't even lose that much, right? It's not even that big of a cost.
That's actually what Arrow's doing. It assumed twice already.
Walks to Elena, just toss it on.
So now you're forced into wave clearing at your bottom turret. Like, this is super desperate team fight, right?
I really think a kick on Varus is the only way you could, you know, get a decent fight. But even then, like, how do you deal with this Cassio? He's got 3 items, a QSS, and he's level 16. Like, this Cassio is 1v9.
So what we're saying is, this game, not Dardoch's fault at all. He played great. You know, too bad though.
Yeah. Dardoch played really well. I think this, you know, Immortals made a lot of individual mistakes, and I don't like their team comp very much. I think it's super hard to win with unless you just play perfectly.
It is one of those ones that you got to snowball, right? I mean, most Jace comps are kind of like that, and you're like, oh, okay, he's snowballing super hard from the top side and poking pretty hard. Dom, you're squinting pretty hard.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I never see about Jace in NA, at least. When you watch Jace in other regions, the Jace is taking every turret on the map. They're like taking both outers instantly. And in NA, it seems like the Jace just kind of lanes.
They're like, woo, I won 20 CS,
yeah,
let's go.
It's like, oh, you're up 40 CS, and then Shen just TVs into the team fight and you lose the game. I never see the Jaces push the matchup hard enough where they're taking turrets and it feels worth it. It always just feels like you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm a bit excited for Flame getting a Flame Horizon now. It's coming up.
I mean, I guess. I guess that's.
I think this is his first one in NA.
No, he actually got one on like his first game.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah, the opener.
Yeah, the opener he got a Flame Horizon, and it was like the worst Flame Horizon. He like got stomped in lane and then split push half the game, and somehow ended up being up 100 CS after their like base was caved in.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Jace, this is Jace things, you know, up a Flame Horizon enemy, but we lose the game.
Not my fault, team.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened mid, but you're 0-4, dude.
I really think the gold value is not indicative of how close this game is.
Yeah. Because a lot of it is, you know, this champion kits that we're talking about, right? Jace, he can lend some poke, right? But when it comes to the team fight, the presence just isn't there for a team fight. So much of it does come from these big damage dealers of the backlines with extra CC. But the CC from Immortals is Dardoch making a hero play or bottom lane.
And it's so hard to make the hero play here. There's so many things you have to watch out for. You have to be keeping track of if Arrow has...
Hey, he's making it work. Get him. Get him.
I think Big should be all right here. That's pretty much all they can do is try to have Jace beat up on Shen, but...
Look at where the wave is. He's not going to get anything off that. Maybe a couple more CS. He might get that Flame Horizon right now, actually.
That's actually the second time I've seen Flame go for that, you know, just cutting way behind the wave to try to kill Shen. And if it works, it's great, but you can lose a lot of time.
I definitely think
a lot of tempo going for that.
The more consistent play is just shoving the wave to the turret and trying to get a couple shots on it. Like one Jace W in human form on the turret will chunk like a third of its health.
So this
I
game,
think he's a little scared to do that with the amount of vision they have.
This game definitely looks like super rough, and especially if you're considering team comps, but like, what do you tell your teams in solo queue at this point? Because you don't want to just like give up at the moment.
You just lie. You just
technically,
say
you're like,
late game.
Hey, well, yeah. Honestly, I'm like, hey, they could throw around Baron, right? That's one of your best hopes. Like somebody messes up positioning around Baron, maybe
Pray
they.
for a DC.
Yeah. So the first step in trying to hope for one of those, you know, throws from the enemy team is setting up more vision around the place you think they will throw.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it just comes down to grouping up. It's like, oh, we have 5 here. They don't.
Yeah. You know, they messed up. They face checked. You know, and you kind of try and run with that.
Generally, in my experience, the two strategies that you know, you can come back from the game that feels otherwise unwinnable is either, you know, a YOLO Baron or just crazy split pushing. It looks like they're going for, you know, a little of each here.
Yeah. And I would have loved to see this from Immortals way earlier. This bot turret was up forever, and Flame stayed top, pushing in that wave, and never got any damage on the inhibitor turret. I feel like he should have been taking this turret 10 minutes ago, as soon as he got the advantage. As soon as they got the tier 2 top, swap the Jace bot and try to do the same thing down here.
Got his Flame Horizon, though.
I'd honestly like to see someone else from Immortals show up down here bot and try to kill Shen. Not Lee Sin, because it's really obvious he's not a Baron, but do you think we could pressure Ashe just sneaking up?
Okay. Well, the opposite is true here. Is he going to get... Oh!
Adrian with the KS cross map. What a balance item.
That was actually sick.
Very well-timed redemption.
Got him with the flash. Yeah. Perfect timing redemption. All right, well, now they've lost another point, so it just becomes run for the hills, basically.
They probably just lose Baron. They probably just can't. I don't know how they can possibly contest this Baron.
Yeah. This is a really bad situation.
And it feels super bad to just say, all right, we got to cut our losses, you know, give it to them and hope for them.
Giving Baron never feels good, especially as the jungler, because, you know, you have that thought in the back of your mind, I could have gone for a steal.
I think P1 should have just been more on the Baron here. They're trying to bait them into the fight, but they can just go up and start hitting the Baron again and make Immortal run to them.
Really interesting. It's almost like they're waiting for Jace to respawn, you know. P1 wants that 5v5.
I guess that's the play. I haven't played competitive in like a year, so I have no idea.
We can all say, oh, we're too old.
I don't understand what these kids are doing anymore.
This is the new generation of league talent.
I mean, it's a lot easier to say from out here. We've all played on the stage.
Kobe played on the stage back in 2003 or something.
Were there color computers back then?
In 1950?
Yeah, 1950. I remember him out there.
Playing versus Dan Din and stuff. Here we go. They actually got caught in their own jungle.
You know you're old when you got replaced by St. Vicious. That's all I'm saying.
Look at us. The Saints back out Team Liquid actually coaching.
Yeah.
Still sticking around, baby. Us old fogies.
This game is it's deteriorating for IMT a little bit.
It is. And we talked about, oh yeah, they could have been on Baron, but chasing them through their own jungle to pick and is just like, you know, taking advantage of the extra vision, right? They've been able to strangle this out for a long time.
It really makes me wonder, how would this game have gone if mid lane went a little bit different? Because P1 got so many advantages out of mid that they shouldn't have.
Ryu's going on the chase. All right, Dardoch, let's see you outplay this.
All right. Now, at this point in the game, you're like, YouTube highlight, YouTube highlight. Oh, shit.
Oh, look at that wave.
Side.
That's hype.
Olay,
Olay.
highlight. All right.
Dardoch's just running for that.
Good to be the.
Doesn't care about the montage, I guess.
Yep. What a team player Dardoch is now. Look at that play.
Yeah, see? No NA flame from the junglers here.
He has his GA up, actually.
Yeah.
Getting killed with GA feels really bad.
Yeah, what a wuss, dude. He should have got in there.
Now they go for the alley-oop for himself here.
This right here is the worst feeling Lee Sin game.
It really is. Playing Lee Sin in a game where you don't have any kind of hard initiate, where they've got a...
Oh, they're going for it. They missed the arrow.
Ryu.
Get him, get him.
Oh, rolling.
Holy. Okay, it worked. See, my shot calling, it helped out.
Shen's Stand United was still on cooldown, actually. That's why they went for this. Patience.
Yeah, that was weird. He got hit by the Victor W, then QSS'd it, then got hit by a hook. He kind of got hit by everything there.
Like how? I guess you have to chase this to the end of the world,
Right.
right?
This is one of IMT's only opportunities to come back into this game, and
They just have to.
they're seizing it.
P1 just needs to run right now.
Right. They just need to wait for Cassio.
Oh, he
Yes,
got.
Oh, he got played out at the top there at the end too.
Wow.
Man, that was
What a
good.
swing.
They can probably get an inhib off this. Definitely an inhib.
I honestly wouldn't even blame them if they just kept trying to go all the way.
Yeah,
You know, just
just
kill
try to
Cassio
end
when
the
she
game.
respawns.
Just try to end.
What do they have? They have Lee Sin flash. They have Victor flash.
Hero has no flash. as
I
well.
would keep going if I was the IMT here. I don't think they'll get a better winner than this to win the game.
Yeah, that's such.
It's really hard for his Baron minions though.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe that's a little ambitious.
So Zig doesn't
Thank
have
you.
any teleport though, so at least they don't have a top laner cutting them off, right? They should be able to.
Yeah, definitely credit to Arrow. He hit a
Outta
bunch
here.
of those snipes on the outside of the fight. He hit Dardoch with 2. I think he hit Flame with 2 himself. As soon as he flashed out, he was hitting everyone with multiple person arrows. I think if he hits fewer arrows there, maybe they seize that opportunity a little bit more.
Interesting to see neither team going for the Ocean Drake. In games where Poke is involved, I find
Yeah.
the Oceans incredibly...
But this one right here again, this opportunity is so well used by Immortals with the Stand United still on cooldown. And this is the bonus of not going for the highlight play. He was still alive, he still had GA, so they could still chase.
That's true.
But no YouTube video, right?
That's unfortunate.
All right, now that they've been able to stabilize a little bit, I feel like they're still going to face the same problem. So
They still have Baron. They're now on the back foot again.
yeah.
Ryu had about 3,000 gold when he died there, so he just picked up a Void Staff.
That ARAM factor where you're like, yeah, we killed him. Now Ryu goes back and he buys a full item, right?
Right. He just wasn't allowed to buy them.
Yeah.
That was definitely questionable positioning from Ryu there. He was all the way in front of his team. No Rek'Sai in front, no Shen in front.
It
Yeah.
was aggressive, but given the fact that he had both Sum, Seraph, and QSS, I can kind of understand it. So I would actually give
Did
it
he
an
have
IMT
flash up for that or no?
It looks like it's almost off cooldown,
maybe he didn't
so
have
I
flash.
don't think
Okay, if
so,
he didn't have
yeah.
flash, then he was trolling. But I do think it was a good CC chain by IMT.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ole hitting some really good hooks there.
Olay had a lot of good ones for the chase as well, yeah.
P1 is definitely playing this very slow and controlled
So,
for the most part.
yeah.
Sometimes mini throws like that can really help reset. You're like, okay, guys, we can still lose this game. Let's not do that again. And can get you focused up again, especially in Soul. Yeah.
Definitely.
Minion's going to be streaming into their base now, too, as well, with the mid lane supers moving up there.
It will, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to do a whole lot. You know, mid lane is the
Cassio's capped out.
It's the least impactful inhib to get because your whole team's around there, and Baron's not going to be up for a while. So I don't think they're going to do a whole lot with this inhib except just deny themselves some farm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good way to stall out the Baron and not let P1 get any inhibitors for themselves or get closer to closing out this game.
It is a good way to delay the game, which looks like they can use right now.
And as you get later and later, it really does get to the point where you're like, all right, next team fight wins, you know? The door's already open. You can try and run it all the way
I actually
there.
do think that if this game goes very, very late, you know, like full build on everyone, that IMT might get an advantage because I'm not entirely sure how good Varus is on 6 items compared to Ashe. He doesn't build crit, so he doesn't have that level of scaling.
I mean, he is going the lethality build. It should theoretically have a lower cap than the crit ones.
Yeah, just Cody's Sun's so far behind right now. Like, he's behind about an item and a half
Yeah.
at this point. So I think it really just depends on if he can get that last item. And also, Arrow's poke is still going to be insane.
Yeah. Plus, you know, Victor has a whole nother item he needs. Like, Pobelter's had a super rough game in mid lane. And, like, the AP damage is such a big part of these endgame team fights. Cassiopeia is a monster. Even being forced into a QSS buy, so she doesn't have to buy boots, like, you still get that similar amount of power here.
Interesting to see Ryu opting not buy boots this game.
Ooh, yeah.
I think he'll buy the Mercurial Scimitar, the 80 Cassio.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you do?
I think you
sell
sell it
your
and get
QSS?
it.
I don't think he should have QSS. I think he should make
Yeah.
Nami get a Michaelis if he really needs it, but he needs more damage because
Yeah.
Rek'Sai Shen aren't really going to scale. Varus isn't the damage you need. I don't think Nami does any damage. So a lot of this is going to be on Cassio to carry these fights.
Yeah, it looks like Nami's going for that the crit dealio for Arrow because Arrow didn't build any crit for himself, rather than going with that Michaelis. I mean, it's an interesting choice, right? You get some more DPS out of Arrow, but maybe Ryu has to sacrifice an item slot.
I think if you're Nami against an Ashe, you should probably pick up a Michaelis.
Yeah.
So let's flash ult out of Arrow. Ult flash to try to catch out Pobelter, and he had to burn the flash for himself.
Yeah. I mean, how are you feeling about Cody Son's Ashe Arrow, you know, chances here to really make a big play? Because Ryu obviously has this QSS, so the target is Arrow, and since Arrow uses flash offensively, you know, maybe they get, you know, one of those miracle openings.
It has to be in a situation where his team can actually follow it up. Because if they don't kill, if they're not able to follow it up with a Lee Sin kick or kill him relatively early in the beginning of the fight, they'll 100% lose chasing into Cassio. So it definitely has to be well-timed Arrow, and I think Arrow needs to make a mistake in positioning for that to really be allowed.
I'm not in love with this recall by IMT here. They're giving up full Baron control, and they're going to have to walk into P1 if they want to contest this Baron. And like I was saying earlier, having that mountain, having a 6-item Cassio.
I have to do it to you, Kobe.
You know, I'm older than Saint Vicious too, I think. Or maybe we're the same age.
Well, my stream always flames me for being old, like for being someone who was a pro player. I think last year when I was playing,
you're the semi-professional, right?
yeah, I was the oldest player in LCS for a bit. That's how I knew that it was time to call it quits. Like, so I'm 26, so being on the desk with you, I definitely have to.
I feel like I was like one of the very first person who was ever kicked off a team, right? Because there were only a couple professional teams back then. And very few people were kicked off. I was one of them. I do have a gold medal to show for myself, though.
Oh, WCG 2010,
yeah,
right?
WCG. They don't even do gold medals anymore.
Yeah, we lost that tournament. We were the third place team, only top 2 went, and we lost it because our top laner, who was odd one at the time, got banned. Unlucky.
Did anyone else just catch the poker down from that thing?
Yeah, I know. They actually got a good pick here on it. They're winning the game while we're
really
like trolling.
What P1 is doing right now.
They just 4v5 all day. I mean, I think what they wanted to do is they wanted to have Shen hold Jace, and then they realized at this point that Shen was going to lose the inhibitor turret to the Jace. Jace has hit that point.
Yeah.
So then they had to recall everyone. And now they're in a situation where they want to force a 5v5 because if they let the Shen go versus the Jace, they're going to just end up losing inhibitor.
And you know what Meteos was talking about earlier, if when we get to that super late game when everyone is capped out, so much of it is about like these damage dealers. The damage is so
that might be GG. That's probably a game.
Yep, that's not very good for Immortals.
That's all right. GG. Well played. Go next.
That was a really good play by P1.
I'm surprised.
Bad play by IMT. You know, just walking over there.
I'm surprised they didn't just go straight through top and end the game. Do you think they should have ended the game? I would have personally expected to see them all go top
rush
with
down
40%.
there with that minion wave.
I think
big minion wave.
I think no matter what they went for, it could have been good as long as it's not, you know, walking into fog against Cassiopeia.
Oh, that was actually pretty sick. They should be able to get him. So if you do go I feel like the Baron is the safer route though. Yeah, you know, rushing to try and end it. You always have that in the back of your mind. Like if you come up at the Nexus turrets and you don't finish, then they run it back. But if you go for Baron, you get those recalls and you can like stop.
I just personally don't see what Immortals could have done to clear this out.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have went through the river bush, but
I mean,
that was pretty unexpected, to be fair.
I mean, after this point, I'm surprised that that P1 didn't just run straight top to that massive minion wave and end the game immediately, and they ended up going for Baron instead.
Yeah, I mean, they did lose their inhibitor to the flame split push, I guess. Did he got it before he died?
Yeah,
or right before he died? Okay, yeah, that was it. So he stuck around to grab that one, but
Ooh, Publisher had the flash there. Oh no, it was Fresh the flash.
they're burning from the wave too because of Elder Dragon.
Yeah.
How does a wave set you on fire?
This has got to be a
the
pretty
deep
hard
question.
force from P1, I think. I think they need to like really go for turret damage here.
Oh, the Cassio is your target.
Wasn't a good angle there.
Didn't get him.
And now I think P1 can really step up here and get some autos on the
Dardoch
turret.
still has flash, right?
He does.
Yeah. But no kick, so this is
I think his best opening is going to be when his kick comes back up because level 16 Lee Sin ult, not that long of a cooldown, and they probably won't
This is
expect it.
one where you pretty much give them everything. Baron and Elder, you give them whatever you want at that point. You just don't fight so we don't lose the game.
Yeah.
Do you give them Nexus?
Potentially. It might be forced.
It's good in some
Save your
situations.
KDA, is that what you're telling me?
No, it's
Dardoch
good.
hasn't died yet still.
You don't know how hard people flame on Twitter based
Oh,
off
I
fantasy.
know, I know.
Based off fantasy, that will hurt somebody really deep.
All right, well, let's take a look here, because as troll as you want to get, you don't want to give up the Nexus 4, no matter what the enemy team has.
But do you fight this right now?
Another
I think
inhibitor going
you
down is
look
like...
for something. Oh,
got
wow.
Ryu.
Really good
Oh,
kick.
the arrow, though.
No follow-up.
Yeah.
Shen still hasn't ulted.
Adrian almost dying to that laser. Sat on the second half of it.
Well,
Guess that's two.
I guess they weathered the storm a bit. They didn't lose the game.
Yeah.
for sure.
And not sure how close Probalter is to getting that next item, but he does have another slot, which I imagine will be a Lich Bane. Maybe Leandries?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
could
mean-
be Lich Bane, could be Leandres. They have some tanky members on P1. I think both are fine.
Really depends what he's going for. He's trying to kill the front line. Leandries is trying to flash in the back line. Lich Bane.
I feel like he's gonna have to kill the front line.
Look at the front line, though, because Dardoch, or Inori and Zig both get their GAs after this, too, so... But anyways, that would have been sick if the arrow was a little bit sooner and, like, you know, they capitalized on it off of the kick, but...
Actually, a really good taunt by Zig there. He taunted Jace out of his hammer form,
Yeah.
Q, and protected Cassio. That was a great decision. Instead of ulting and potentially letting Jace open up on Cassio, he taunted because he thought that would prevent more damage, and it ended up forcing Jace to QSS instantly and then flash back towards his team. So I definitely think big play by Zig there. Really good protection area play.
So let's focus in on Dardoch's goals for this team fight, right? If you're the Lee Sin in this endgame team fight and you're facing a double front line with GAs, like, yes, sometimes you can go, you know, front to back and burn through the enemy front line, but this seems like maybe you need to make that hero play and try and get back there, right?
Well, this is a really rough situation because you know what P1's saying right now is they're saying just wait for the waves, let bot push in, let mid push in, and then we'll end up forcing once they have to send people back to protect the Nexus.
Yeah.
And I can't tell, is one Nexus turret actually exposed? I don't think so.
They have the
I-
Zerat right on top of it. Here, let me check on the other
I
side.
think both Nexus.
Zerat actually is not as good at defense anymore. They made those changes to it where it can do a lot more damage offensively to turrets, but
Yeah, so you want to put it
doesn't help
all up
that
on the
much
turret now?
defense. Yeah. All right. What angles are you looking for with Dardoch here? He's trying to get like a couple wards out. Get
Really
more
good
vision.
poke.
He used his flash in the last one, so it's going to be really hard to find something like that again.
Yeah.
Especially now that Cassio, he opted to stay with QSS, upgrading to Mercurial. So he's got the lifesteal.
You get the twin fangs, but you also get that weird little squiggly. I don't even know what her auto
think she
attack
throws
is
a
supposed
snake
to be.
at
Is
him,
it
right?
actually supposed to be like a snake out of her hand or
No,
something?
it pulls it out of her hair. Just
It looks like a worm. It's not a snake. That's like an earthworm or something. She's ah. Now it will be a Mercurial.
Now let's see if he works in autos into his team fight here.
All right. Well.
I actually think P1's going to have to wait for Baron to end this game. I don't really see how they're going to crack this last inhibitor.
I mean, sticking around and spamming out Varus arrows while the super minions come help you out is. I'm like a pretty big fan of letting super minions just like do work for you.
But what exactly are you trying to do here? Are you trying to siege down the Nexus? Like, I know they're in the base.
Yeah.
I think they're just waiting for Baron, personally.
I guess
But
it's hard when they have Zerat plus a lot of wave clear, right?
right, and there's still things to think about. You know, Thresh Hook, Ash Arrow. I would much rather take a fight not on double Nexus turrets if it's avoidable.
Yep, for sure.
Here's some Ghost Blades popping off.
And they know that Flame has no flash, so they're trying to force on him.
Wow.
Oh, and Nori gets blown up.
They forced it. They're the ones with extra time. All right, well, that's one GA for the front line.
I'm pretty surprised Nori got out there.
Yep.
Oh, that was his GA.
And his flash, too.
Pretty big. Rek'Sai without GA and flash is hardly considered a champion in the late game.
Yep.
Who's the worm now, Rek'Sai?
I've played a few Rek'Sai games in my time, and I can tell you that late game Rek'Sai is not that fun.
Well, we have Lee Sin in this game, too. I know you play some of those.
Once it gets to 60 minutes.
Yeah! There we
He's
go.
got to stall a little bit longer.
Just pause the game, sub Meteos in, he'll do the magic.
Yeah.
You got to flip his kills some deaths around or I can't play it.
Go walk up on stage. Dardoch, get behind the Casio.
Here, what I would do is Dardoch. This is actually what I did in that game. I just sat at the enemy red buff and I said, I'm just going to sit here forever. See what happens.
I actually see Ryu do that all the time.
It's a pretty good strat, the long con. As long as you don't like accidentally walk over a ward you don't know is there. Sometimes they're like...
It's a pretty good strat except for when it fails. And then you just look like an absolute idiot.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Honestly, in one of these games, it's like 50 minutes in. It's already.
I've never heard that be a high risk, high reward play. Just stay at the just AFK right here.
Stand still.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, he's still going for it. What a madman.
Just treat them like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
I'd
Can't
honestly kind of like to see Jace just go for a backdoor on you. It kills him so fast.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. They're really worried about the Baron right now. They have some vision. I think they got Crab there too, which is going to give them a little bit more time. But I assume when that dies out, P1's going to either bait it or just rush it down. They kill it so quick at this point.
They've informed me that they have a Casio MP auto attack replay, but I hope they don't do it now because the Baron's getting burned down.
Oh, look at those
and
auto
they're
attacks.
fighting.
I saw Casio weaving in the autos there. Popping off.
Sufficiency.
All right,
And
Flame
look at how low
is going to be
Pobo is.
circled in here. Dardoch!
Oh!
My.
And Nori actually missed the smite, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, I think I saw like double.
That 11 HP lasted a long time.
Yeah.
They actually kill him inside the pit, dude. What
All right, where is...
That Varus.
Are they rushing
Where
to
is
the base
Varus?
right now?
He's
Where is Varus? Okay,
Oh, yeah,
they're
yeah,
outside.
yeah.
off screen. Those arrows hurt. That did about half of Ash's health.
Yeah, look at Pobo out there.
Arrow.
Pretty sure that was one arrow and like a Rex IQ.
All right, so you guys both, helped out with shot calling at least on your teams, whether you're primary or not. Now they're baroned up and they're coming in. Like you need to go for this fight, right? You have to like pull the trigger pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean it's up to them whether they want to give these inhibs. I think you give these inhibs while Lee Sin's down.
Both of them?
I mean
Yeah,
they
you
did it
definitely
before.
have to give inhibs. So
I think
if
you
you
have to
couldn't win a
give
5v5, you're not going to win a 4v5 without your...
Oh, they are pulling it.
They're trying to slow him down.
Yeah. Ooh, he just one-shot Cassie.
Oh, that Lich Bane pickup. Definitely.
All right, Poe Belter then. He's your new shot caller. Don't give up inhibitors. Just one-shot the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, big play by Pobelter.
Yeah, I definitely don't think you should win a 4v4 when your support's down and the enemy jungler's down, but I guess it ended up working out in that situation.
All right.
Honestly, just a really good play from Poe Belter.
Yeah.
He caught Ryu completely off guard. Ryu didn't even burn a summoner.
He was waiting for that 50-minute spike for him.
Ryu did get his Seraphs off, but just too much damage. 6-item Victor. Not something to mess with.
And one thing to note is Casio actually has a bunch of MR. He has, not only does he have Abyssal, but he also has Mercurial Scimitar. So I don't think he was expecting to get one shot through that.
Now, even though they killed her and there's like 25 seconds, this is the point where one team fight wins if you win it big enough, right? So how far do you extend? They push all the way up here, but now they're not really getting anything out of it. It's so risky, right? You have to. Everyone's questioning every call at this point.
Yeah,
I think at this point, the best you can do is maybe set up some vision control bot because that Elder's coming up. Elder's not that good on Immortals because they just have one cloud. But if P1 gets the Elder, it's a huge spike.
Ooh, Ole's in bad position. Still has no flash for a little bit as well.
This was a
see any
perfect
saving
opportunity
either.
for Dardoch to just go hide in that bottom jungle.
He doesn't even have flash. He's pretty done. Oh, now it came up. Oh!
Wow.
Survived.
His flash came up and he escaped.
They simply didn't know where Mortals was, and they didn't want to chase like 3v5.
That feels good for him though, right?
Looks like Dardoch actually is opting to just hide.
This is your play, man.
He's not fully committing to it.
Yeah. Oh, saves
Well, he
his
showed
Banshee.
himself.
Wow, it reveals the scuttle under the speed shrine. I've never seen that before. He's hiding under there. This is actually officially the longest game of this split so far. I'm glad I have both of you guys with me to share the
See, now we
share the
regret
time.
not bringing out the stools. In the
yeah. Actually, yeah.
I'm a just huge fan of the long Lee Sin game.
Yeah. Now we're getting into Meteos expert territory here. Yeah. We have the...
I like this play by Immortals. They're just calling to push down mid while they mess around in the Elder Dragon, because unlike Baron, Elder doesn't give you a fast recall. If they get the recalls, they can just lose the game right here.
I think Dardoch should be running.
Yeah, Dardoch needs to get in there.
Yeah, Dardoch needs to be running into them and stopping recalls.
Yeah, he has Banshees and stuff too, and he's Lee Sin.
I guess they're only going for one in him.
Oh, they're turning. They saw one recall.
Oh my god,
wow.
Ryu is popping off.
There's another huge flash all by Ryu.
What a monster.
He's on the chase.
If this doesn't end the game, man.
It's definitely over now. They didn't lose anybody.
Oh, man, all they needed to do was stall 6 more minutes. What are they thinking?
They tried.
Wait a second. Where are they? Okay, they're pushing up.
Trying to proxy the wave because that's all that's possible anymore. Wave got through.
You can't really get the super creeps as a tank Lee Sin. Just doesn't do the damage.
I mean, if anything, he would just be trying to divert them.
Yeah, he could pull the wave, but I don't think Pobelthi can hold by himself.
Yeah, this one's pretty much it. Man, what an exciting first one. You know, for the next one, by the way, for everyone watching, we are going to switch over to a Nori side and take a look at it from his perspective.
I think that'll be very interesting just because I feel that Dardoch is pretty unpredictable with what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So, seeing it from a Nori's perspective.
And he actually had such a good early game, too.
Dardoch had an amazing early game.
Yeah.
I think Dardoch was not the reason that this game didn't go.
He played pretty much as well as possible, I would say.
Junglers, both flawless, Best players.
No, Nori definitely made some mistakes this game, but I think Dardoch really pretty much played flawlessly. It's super frustrating to lose a Lee Sin game like that.
Yeah. Especially for the comp he had. You know, some comps, when you have stuff to follow up, Lee Sin isn't as hard, but when you've got no tanks, you're one of the main initiators, it's so hard.
You could see it in his play, too. I mean, we even talked about, it was kind of that mid-game play where he went bottom, and they were losing control, even though they still had some gold, but he just, like, 1v3s, gets the Shen ultimate down.
One thing I want to see for this game is I want to see damage charts right now. I honestly feel like Ashe did less than a third of the damage that Arrow did. Like, it felt like there was almost no damage coming out of him. He was dying at the beginning of every fight, and then you have Arrow just throwing piercing arrow after piercing arrow after piercing arrow, just half-healthing people repeatedly. So definitely an awkward situation for Cody there.
Yeah, I mean, even we were like, oh, where is Arrow at the moment? And he's just always throwing them from Fog of War, Fog of War.
And that's really the thing when you have a crit build versus a lethality build. Lethality build scales off your abilities way better than your crit build. And if he's not able, if you have Cody not able to get those autos off in a team fight, his build is honestly nothing but CDR.
Yeah. I thought that Arrow's positioning was really good. I haven't really seen a Varus stand that far back and keep hitting carries. Like, during those Baron fights, you know, he was chunking out both carries from Immortals off screen, so he's not really at risk of getting jumped on or anything. So,
yeah. All right, we are going to send it over to the analyst for a quick check-in, but we will be back with the Inori version next.
Much closer than I think many would have.